Oh my God, Nana?
Infy.
Oh my God, so nice to see you.
It's so fantastic to see you.
You look great. I love that top.
Thank you. Congratulations on your new business.
Thank you. You know, I love that flower in your hair.
Thank you.
I see you doing your thing on the socials, and you look great. You look even better in person than online.
Thank you so much. I love that shade of red.
Thank you, but so nice to see you. I'm going to get going. I got to get things for the business.
Congratulations again, Infy. It's so nice to see you.
So nice to see you. Hey, it's your girl, Infy.
It's your girl, Nana Jones. Ow.
Welcome y'all to Flix'n and Chillin.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, so we are back. Well, really, this is the first official episode.
Yes.
Me and Nana here, we are going to be reviewing different series and shows around, all your favorite streaming platforms. And this one is based on Black Mirror.
Infy has a list. I have a list. We're going to get down to these lists right now.
There are 23 episodes total of Black Mirror from season 1 through 5. And then if you include the interactive movie they made, Bandersnatch. So that's 23 episodes. And as promised, we want to give you our lists and rank these episodes from best to worst. We're going to go in order of the seasons and episodes and basically give you our ranking. So starting with Black Mirror, Season 1, Episode 1, The National Anthem.
That's 15 on my list.
On my list, it's number 23. It was like an interesting episode, kind of weird to me. It ended up last on my list because it was just too much for me, and I didn't really get through it, and the concept of the Prime Minister having pig on national TV. I mean, it makes for some great entertainment, but for me, I don't know. If I was introduced to Black Mirror by the first episode, I don't know if I'd be a fan of it by now. Still, I'm just saying.
Actually, it made it halfway through my list because I found the storyline very interesting, and it made it even more interesting when you understood that the princess was captured and what he was trying to do. But to me, the awe moment of it was how afterwards, when he made the call to her, she had already been released, so he didn't even have to do the act. So as he is sitting in the bathroom throwing up, he didn't even have to do that at all. So that was the crazy part to me.
Yeah, he went above and beyond. I'm not saying it's horrible, it's just number 23 for me, and that's me. It could be your number 1. We found other interesting things, like people are saying maybe Black Mirror has like that Simpsons predicting the future effect, because there is an actual prime minister who, it came out in a memoir where he stuck his in a pig's mouth. So it's kind of, I don't know, really happened.
Yeah, and the man who wrote that actually was inspired off the Bush Tucker trials, and how in Australia and UK where this stuff goes on, people are so fixated at watching every moment of it, the same way that the public was fixated on every moment of the Prime Minister in this episode.
Interesting. Episode 2 of Season 1, 15 Million Merits. I put that on my list as number 12.
15 Million Merits made number 8 on my list. I like that one a lot. I put that definitely in my top 10. I love the futuristic take on this of people actually living in outer space. It reminded me of some Xenon from the 21st century vibes, but way more modern. I thought that was definitely a great one. I love the futuristic take on that, and I love all the side stories and plots. Definitely a good one for me.
So, to the last episode in Season 1, The Entire History of You. For me, that made my top 5, number 5 on my list.
The Entire History made 5 on my list also. Oh my goodness, I love this one. And let me ask you at home, would you want a grain? Would you want a grain?
So if you haven't seen it, watched it, and you'll get what we're talking about when we say, do you want a grain?
So if you go on an interview and you think, oh, I made a stupid remark or I made a stupid face, would you want the ability to go back, rewind and see that face and dwell over it. I think some things are meant to be lived in the past and in the past. So me personally, I wouldn't want a green. I'd be greenless, like homegirl at the dinner table.
For me, I don't know how some people's memories work, but like I have like a wicked photographic memory. So me watching that guy, I kind of feel like it when I'm sitting there and I'm just like thinking like, really, like a lot of my day and my life will be replaying in my head. And what was it? They can get other people to show
people
you.
Can show their grain. They can project it, delete it, etc. But something that you got to keep in mind is having the grain in real life. So something that happened in the show, I definitely think would happen in real life when they was going and he was mad. And he said, "You invited our boss." And she said, "No, you did." He said, "No, you did." And then she just stopped. She played it. And she said, "No, you did." Because stuff like that, words get miscommunicated. So it is a matter of fact, direct way to get the truth.
See, actually, I kind of want one of those. When one of them people tell me like, "No, you're the one who did it." "No, you did." "Okay, let's rewind the grain." See, I told you.
But to me, the most giving part about this is we depend on technology and we're coming very close to stuff like this in real life. There's an interview on Joe Rogan, how they're already doing studies on this. So I love how it's innovative, but it takes the humanity in that very last scene where he goes and cuts the grain out of his head because he is so sick of looking back at the memories. And he would have been happier without the grain. And I think that was the moral of that episode. That's what I took in. Let us know how you feel in the comments.
Well, on to season 2, and what's interesting about 1 and 2 is that it started out as a British anthology TV series, and it was just broadcasted on Channel 4 on the UK, and it caught so much attention that Netflix picked it up. So these episodes are before they had like the Netflix budget. Season 2, episode 1, Be Right Back. I rated that at 17.
Be Right Back for me is 14.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great story. I think why it makes it lower on the list for me, it's creepy. Creeps me out. I don't know. I just don't think I could bring somebody back, like, looking like them in their physical form, back from the dead, kind of.
Actually, would I want to do it? Yes. Why not? Because their soul's not there?
It's just too creepy to me. It's so creepy.
Yeah, and something that I find interesting about this episode is that before they actually send the person there, you're communicating with the AI that would answer like them, and they can actually detect their voice from just a few videos and speak to you just like them. And they actually have technology that is similar to that nowadays. You can sound like your favorite celebrity. You can put your mouth moving with your lips on somebody else's picture, vice versa. The way AI is working right now is very similar to how that was working in the pre-period before the body.
I don't want to, like, fake communicate with a dead person that I miss. Definitely not bring, like, a physical looking them back. It's just creepy. Alright, so on to episode 2, season 2. White Bear. For me, I put it as number 4.
I put White Bear as 6 because I liked it.
We're pretty close, like, on the same page with a lot of these, compared to, like, ones I've read where people are, like, way out in left field compared to me. For me, simply for the fact that it's the first Black Mirror episode I've ever seen is why it makes it high on the list. Number 2, I think it's a great story, great plot. They tricked me. Like, you know, the whole time you're feeling bad for the girl and you really find out the whole time, like, she's just kind of evil.
It was really bad. You couldn't get it, but then you got it. Number 6.
I appreciate how, like, they take, like, a futuristic spin on, like, what they could do with the criminal justice system. Episode 3 of season 2, the Waldo moment. For me, I put it at number 20.
I had the Waldo moment very close at a 21.
For me, it was just too weird for me. Like, oddly, that's another one they kind of say predicted the future because a certain presidential candidate that ran years later, they compare it to that. I don't know, it's just kind of all over the place. No, like, real new technology stuff. I mean, it's just pretty low for me. It's nothing I really, like, am interested to go back and watch.
Yeah, and honestly, there's a lot of holographic stars that do numbers like in Japan and places like that, and it's people liking a fake image. So this is relatable because it happens in real life.
Final episode of season 2, White Christmas. I put it as a number 8.
Very close with me too. White Christmas is number 9. Definitely a top 10 for me.
A top 10. I mean, they give you 3 stories in one. Yeah, it explores pretty good technology. It makes it up there high for me. They did a great job.
Could you imagine living life looking at blurs?
Alright, so that was season 2. On to season 3, and where I said this is where it really gets interesting because they picked up a bigger budget when they got picked up by Netflix.
Yeah, and you can really see the quality in it. And this episode is near and dear to me because this was actually my first episode. Infy was like, you have to see this. It's like they live in the social media world. I put it on and I instantly gravitated to it. I actually watched it 2 or 3 more times just to go back and pick up more clues in it.
This was your first episode you ever seen of Black Mirror?
Yes.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yes.
It's like I said, for me, it was White Bear and probably why it's high on my list, even though it ain't the best story. What we're talking about is Season 3, Episode 1, Nosedive. So that is both of our, drum roll please, number 1.
Yes, and that was not planned at all. Like, we literally didn't know what each other's list said, and that is both of our number 1. Let's get into it. This is a great way to end this first pod. As you've seen our little skit at the beginning where we scored each other in this world, it is just Facebook and Instagram 3.0, and they want everything to be perfect all the time.
I feel like, yeah, it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Uber, Google, credit score, amplified. It's definitely my number 1, I think partially because, like, a lot of the times, I feel like I'm almost living that world with, like, how I get sometime, and I feel like a lot of us do, like, just with our, look at my Instagram going off right now.
We'll put it this way, before I take a picture of my food, I whip the sauce around the table, you know?
That's a good point. But imagine, like, your social media score and, like, your life really depending on it is, like, what gets me. We're almost moving in that direction because, like, more and more you're hearing of, like, jobs Googling you and, like, looking up social medias, people losing their job over, like, posts on social media and stuff like that.
Basically, even getting a house, they check your credit score to move into an apartment or a house, you know?
It's almost like, I don't know, like, to them, like, your social media score is, like, your credit score and, like, your everything. And I remember when I first seen this season years ago, I think. I remember I was like, I feel like this not only because social media, but, like, you know, trying to build my credit and looking at my credit score. And, like, you see, like, her life is dependent on, like, the job she has and her trying to get the apartment. And I don't know. I almost felt like I was living Lacey's life.
Imagine not being able to swear at people. Like, can you imagine that? Like, because then you would be the lady who is the trucker with the very low score. And it's funny because you have a mouth like a trucker, they say.
Imagine what a difference it would make, like, your interactions with people, you know? Some of them, like, it might be like real life, like, some people just don't give a but you might think twice before, you know, you give somebody an attitude.
There'd be a lot more thinking twice. There'd be a lot better customer service, I'll tell you that.
And we all know customer service is going down the drain.
Out the window.
Nosedive, definitely my favorite episode. Maybe some of the other ones, the storylines may be better. Like, it might not be everybody's number 1, but it's my number 1.
Yeah, I loved it. It's my number 1 for many reasons, but I even love how it's cinematic. The view of it, it almost gives me that Nick at Night clean theme. It was the first one I seen, and it is the number 1 I like. Even
how people say they have their comfort shows, it's like one of them shows sometimes I'm like going to bed, I pop it on.
I'm the opposite. I only put them on when I'm going to sit down and pay attention because I'm always picking up new things from it. Every time I watch those episodes, I pick up something new from it. There's so much Easter eggs, which we are definitely going to get into also.
All right, so I think we've gone through 8 episodes. We got quite a road to go, but we are going to cut it off right here and continue with the rest of season 3. Next week, I just want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank all the new subscribers. Don't forget, like we said, hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave some comments, and definitely stay tuned. Infyland TV.
Yeah. And no, really, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with us. Has been so much fun refreshing our memories on these Black Mirror episodes. We have the new season coming, so make sure that you tune in next week to pick up where we left off.
And until next time, it's your girl, Infamous Ma.
It's your girl, Nana Freaky Jones. Ow, ow, ow.
Until next time, y'all.
Cut.
By the way, it was real nice seeing you, Nana.
It was fantastic seeing you.